Imagine waking up in total darkness. No memory. No idea who you are. You don't know your name, your age, or why you're there. All you know is that you are moving upward. And then the doors open, and blinding light hits your eyes. You're pulled into a massive grassy field, surrounded by stone walls taller than any building you've ever seen. You're not alone. A group of teenage boys stares down at you. Curious, wary. This is the glade, and beyond these walls lies a maze. And the maze? It's alive. It's hunting. This is the Maze Runner. Before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more movie recaps like this, because survival is just the beginning. Our story begins with Thomas, a teenage boy, waking up in a metal elevator. He has no memory, no identity, nothing. The elevator stops. The doors open, and he's pulled out into the glade. The glade is massive, a grassy courtyard surrounded by impossibly high stone walls. The other boys explain the rules. Every month, a new boy arrives. Everyone has a job to do. Builders, medics, cooks, farmers, and the runners, the ones brave enough to explore the maze. The maze is dangerous. It changes every night, and creatures called grievers hunt anyone trapped inside after dark. Thomas tries to absorb all this information. He doesn't understand how they've survived so long, but he's determined to find a way out. Thomas watches the runners. Led by Miho, they enter the maze at sunrise. They run, mapping every corridor, memorizing every turn, knowing that they must return before sunset or die. Thomas is fascinated and terrified. He wants to be one of them. He feels a strange connection to the maze. Something inside tells him he belongs there, that he's meant to understand it. Then comes the first real danger. Ben, a runner who was stung by a griever, becomes delirious, violent, dangerous. There's no cure for the griever venom. The gladers have no choice. They send Ben into the maze at night, leaving him to die. Thomas watches in horror, realizing the rules are harsh. Survival here is brutal, and death is always close. The next day, Albie, the glade leader, and Miho enter the maze to track Ben's path. Sunset approaches, and Miho returns, dragging a badly injured Albie. They won't make it in time. Without thinking, Thomas runs into the maze to help. The doors close behind them. He's never done anything like this before. They spend the night trapped inside. The grievers hunt them. Thomas studies the walls, notices the patterns, and lures one into a narrowing corridor, where it's crushed by the closing walls. For the first time, a griever is killed. Morning comes. Thomas, Miho, and Albie survive. The glade now sees Thomas differently. He's no longer just a newcomer. The next day, the elevator arrives again. But this time, it brings a girl, Teresa, the first and only female glader ever. She carries 2 syringes of griever antivenom and a note saying, "She's the last one." She seems to know Thomas, but he doesn't remember her. Her arrival changes everything. The maze begins acting strangely. Sections that were once predictable shift unexpectedly. Thomas realizes that he and Teresa are somehow connected to the maze in a way the others aren't. Inside a dead griever, Thomas and Miho find a mysterious mechanical device. Miho shows Thomas a model of the maze. It's precise. Every section opens and closes in a specific order. Thomas realizes the device corresponds to one section of the maze, possibly a key to escaping. The maze isn't random. It's designed, and it's testing them. That night, something unprecedented happens. The maze doors stay open. Multiple entrances open. Grievers invade the glade. The boys fight, screaming, defending themselves with sticks and tools. Albie sacrifices himself to protect others. Several more gladers die. Gally, angry and afraid, blames Thomas. He believes Thomas caused the chaos. Trust fractures. Fear spreads. Thomas decides to do something dangerous. He stings himself with a griever's stinger. He injects the last dose of antivenom. Pain, hallucinations, flashbacks, and finally, clarity. Thomas remembers. He and Teresa once worked for WCKD, the organization that created the maze. The gladers are immune teenagers, part of an experiment to study their brains under extreme stress. The world outside is destroyed by solar flares and a virus called the flare. The maze was a test, and they passed something important. Gally wants to use Thomas and Teresa as bait to restore order. But Thomas, Miho, and Newt refuse. They break free and lead the remaining gladers into the maze, fighting off grievers. Jeff is killed. Other gladers fall. The survivors push forward, following Thomas's knowledge of the maze. They reach a hidden laboratory beyond the maze. Corpses everywhere. Blood, broken equipment, and old recordings. Ava Page, a WCKD scientist, explains via video, solar flares devastated the planet, followed by a virus that wiped out most of humanity. The maze was an experiment to find a cure. The gladers' intelligence, courage, and adaptability were being studied. Gally arrives, stung and unstable. He fires a gun at Thomas, but Miho throws a spear, striking him. The gun fires anyway. Chuck, Thomas's young friend, is killed. Thomas cradles him. Heartbroken. Survival has a cost. Masked WCKD soldiers arrive. They escort the survivors to a helicopter. From the air, the gladers see a ruined world. Desert wastelands. Destroyed cities. Freedom is temporary. The real challenge is just beginning. In a hidden control room, scientists watch. Ava Page remarks, Phase 1 complete. The survivors are entering Phase 2. The maze was only the beginning. The world outside is far more dangerous. Thomas and the gladers now have a new mission: survive, resist, and fight WCKD to protect the remaining immune teenagers. And that is the Maze Runner, a controlled nightmare disguised as salvation. The gladers survive the maze, but the real experiment is just beginning. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because next time we dive into the Scorch Trials, where survival becomes even deadlier. The maze was only Phase 1, and the world outside, it's far worse.